Good morning, everybody. Uneducated Economist here. So I got a little bit of a story time. Over the last week or so, I have kind of turned off the news. I haven't really been reading any articles. I have not been listening to any YouTube videos. I have not been paying attention to the economy like I normally would. I have read some of the headlines. I could not help myself, so I did go through some of the headlines, but I really have not read any articles or listened to any videos or anything over the last week. I took a little trip up to Portland. We went up Thursday afternoon and came back Saturday, and it was hammered. We had a pretty severe winter storm take place up here in the Pacific Northwest, and Portland, Oregon was just nailed with a good, I would say probably eight inches of snow with ice packed in it. It was crazy. Up here in the Pacific Northwest, we are really not prepared to deal with that kind of snow and ice. It can rain all day, every day, for the entire winter, and nobody up here would notice. But when it gets that cold and when the snow starts falling, we are not prepared to deal with that. Now, I took my Ford Taurus up to Portland Thursday afternoon, and going up there was just fine. My wife drove up. While we were up there, we parked. We stayed at an Airbnb on, where were we, like 85th and Division, somewhere around there. And Saturday morning, like it was, the snow started falling when we were there, and it didn't really stop the entire time. So all day Friday, and then Friday night, it was really bad. So when I got up Saturday morning, I went out to the car, and I was standing on top of the snow. Like cars were driving on top of the snow, even though it was probably a good 6 to 8 inches thick. And I'm looking at my car, and I'm thinking, how am I going to get the chains on this car? Like, how am I going to get home? And I was smart enough to bring the chains with me, but I was not thinking to put the chains on before it snowed. Like, I was just, okay, good time, we're here, let's go have a good time, and we'll worry about, getting the chains on the car later. I should have put the chains on the car as soon as I got there, because I was planning on not driving when I got there. We were just going to walk around, that area and, just hit the restaurants and stuff like that. So I had already planned on just parking the car and leaving it there, but I should have put the chains on right away. I didn't. And so I'm sitting there and I'm looking at my car, and it's buried. Buried in snow and ice. And I'm thinking, how am I going to get these damn chains on? So I go back and that's another thing, I had to bust out of the room. So the little Airbnb apartment had like this kind of little tiny courtyard with a hot tub in it, and it had a gate, and I couldn't open the gate because the snow was packed and frozen on the other side. I had to climb over the fence and then kick all the snow out from around the gate to open the gate up to get out. So once I had got out, I went back to the Airbnb and went into the apartment, and I found a little chintzy plastic dustpan. And I'm thinking, this is the only thing I had to dig my car out with. So I go back out to the car, and now this dude in this Dodge pickup who drove up, and he is now parked like on the other side of the street, and he's sitting in his car drinking coffee, idling, watching me. And I'm like, great, so now I got an audience. And there's a guy in his house, like right up, and he's watching me. He's got like coffee. He must have had like, some kind of stove, because there was no power either. There was no power up there, and everything's frozen. So I start digging this car out with this little chintzy plastic spatula, right? And my hands are freezing, and I finally was able to get the car to move a little bit back and forth, and I'm like, okay, great. Now I can get the chains on. I can at least roll the car onto the chains and see if I can't get these things on. I fought for probably 45 minutes trying to get these damn chains under the tires. I could not roll them things under it. I was just so frustrated with it. And at one point, I actually had the chains underneath the tires sideways, like completely sideways from the way it was supposed to be. And I'm like, God, this is just terrible. So after about 45 minutes of working on these things, I was finally able to get the chains on to the tires enough that I was able to pull it out of its spot and get it up onto the road. And I was like, yes. So I tightened up the chains a little bit, was able to drive down the road, and I was on my way. So as I started driving down the road, the chains kept, it was cable chains too. It wasn't like chains. It was just like these cables that, have like these little chintzy little clasps, not even a clasp. It's like an eyelet that you like thread it through to kind of keep it in place. And they kept loosening up and smacking the side of the car, and I'm like, crap. So I would go and I would tighten them up and I would drive down about 10 miles and then bam, 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 these things would come loose again. And I'm like, what's going on? Why aren't these things staying in place? So finally, I stretched them as tight as I could get. I threaded through one more time, and I take off down the road, and now everything is fine. Like, I'm flying down I-5. Everything's going great. The car is handling fine. There's not really even that many people out on the road, and I'm following like this Jeep Cherokee who realized that I was following him, and so he was like just kind of guiding my way all the way down I-5. I just stayed in his tracks all the way from Portland to Longview, crossed over in Longview, went up over from Longview, I crossed back over to Oregon and then drove into Clatsop County. Going through those hills wasn't so bad. There was a lot of traffic up there. Mostly it was trucks with chains driving through there, but I was able to make the whole trip without really any problems. Once I made it to Clatsop County, everything turned to slush, and I took the chains off and drove the rest of the way without any problems. So being prepared with the chains was a pretty smart deal, but I was not thinking about digging the car out, and I wasn't thinking about putting the chains on ahead of time, which I should have done. Had I done those two things, or at least brought a shovel with me that I could have dug the car out with and put the chains on, that would have made life a lot easier than having to deal with that little dustpan. But when I got back home, there was a severe ice storm that had hit Clatsop County, and it busted the trees all to hell. A lot of trees came down Friday night, and it took out the power lines big time. Like, when I was driving down Highway 30, I must have saw 30 spots that would have needed attention with down power lines, and that was just the ones that I've seen. So you can imagine all the rest of the stuff that's out there that needs attention as well. It was really bad. I don't know how many people were without power up here in the Pacific Northwest, but it was quite an intense amount. So I get back to my house, and we have been without power since Friday night. And here it is Monday morning, and the power has finally come back on. Now, one of the things that I realized is that although I have like everything I need as far as like being prepared goes, I was not prepared in the sense that I could just bust that stuff out and go right to using it. And I could have dug it all out and worked on it and got it. But the power, the estimated time that the power would come back on was not that far away, and they kept pushing it back. So it was like, okay, well, it's going to be on like at 9 o'clock tonight. Well, nope, it's going to be on at like 6 in the morning. I was like, okay, well, if it's going to be on at 6 in the morning, let's just go to bed and we'll just, everything will be fine in the morning. We'll go back to what we're doing. 6 o'clock in the morning, nope, still no power. You check it, nope, it's going to come on this afternoon. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to work. Well, I'll see you guys later. Afternoon comes, nope, it's not going to come on until midnight. So the entire time, had I just thought, okay, well, the power's not coming back on, I'm going to go get my stove, get the propane out, get everything ready to go, and that way we can cook food and stuff. I just kept assuming that the power was going to come back on and that everything would just go back to normal. So I learned a lesson about being prepared right now. You have to be able to, power's out, you want to cook, you should be able to cook in the next 15 minutes. That's how prepared you should be. And I am not even close to being that prepared. So for the next month, I'm planning on getting that prepared so that the next time we have something like this happen and the power goes out, I will at least be able to drink hot coffee without having to go down to the mini mart to get it. Or be able to cook food without thinking, oh, great, now that we don't have any food and we were planning on cooking, because the power was going to come back on, now I have to take the family out to eat. Which, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate everybody who has sent me tips on PayPal and Cash App and Venmo. I use those tips to take the family out to eat, and that has been so helpful over the last few days because I have taken the family out quite a bit to eat since the power has gone out and we went on that little trip. So thank you guys. I really appreciate that. It's we sit around when we eat, we thank the viewers. I mean, we all of them, every time, the boy says, hey, can I get, something special, whatever. Absolutely, it's the viewers who are paying for this. You enjoy that. That's what they're doing for us. And I can't thank you guys enough for that. It's very touching, and it's very appreciative. You would not believe how much my family appreciates that, because there was a time when I would never take them out. So like this whole power outage, they're actually enjoying that, because they get to go out quite a bit for this. And I also think about it because you guys are really helping my local businesses out too, because that's where I spend the money, is here locally. So thank you guys for that too, because my area here is really tourist oriented, and we have not had, although that kind of changed recently, but over the last year it's been pretty hard on our area. So I really appreciate that you guys are showing me that kind of thank you, and I'm able to return that back into my community. So thank you guys very much for everything like that. But anyway, point of the story: be prepared, be ready for stuff at any given moment. That is the place that we need to be at any given time. Just having the stuff on hand is not enough. You need to have it ready to go. That's the whole point of being prepared, is that you are ready at any given moment. And although I have everything to be ready at any given moment, I was not ready. So after this, I will be ready. Okay, I got to go to work. Uneducated Economist. I'm going to get back to doing the news. The last few videos have been kind of me stepping back a little bit, so I'm going to get back into the news, and we'll talk about some things. Found an article out of the Wall Street Journal I thought would be interesting to talk about. I will leave a link to it over in the Telegram discussion group. I know a lot of people have been asking about a discussion forum. I have that Telegram discussion forum. I don't really have time to be on a lot of different platforms. So Telegram is going to be the discussion forum that I'll use. That's going to be my discussion forum of choice. I will try and, respond as much as I can there. I will try and respond to the emails and the comments over on the uneducatedeconomist.com website. So if you have any questions or stuff like that, you can always send me an email, and I will try to respond to that. I have been incredibly busy lately, so I've had a hard time responding to a lot of the emails and stuff, but I will get back into that and be more responsive to the emails. Anyway, I got to go to work. Uneducated Economist, you guys let me know.